Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. In this video today I shall be talking about the retrogression of Jupiter, which is happening from the 10th of April till the 11th of August. Right, so Jupiter is currently in the sign of Sagittarius in the nakshatra of Mula, and it shall retrograde. It's anyways around the Gandanta point, so it's going to retrograde within the sign of Sagittarius, stay stationary for some time, and then enter the sign of Scorpio, stay stationary over there, and cross over the Gandanta zone on the 6th of May. Right, so on the 6th of May we can say that the Gandanta point, Jupiter is out of the Gandanta zone, and thereafter it keeps retrograding in the sign of Scorpio till the 11th of August. Thereafter it becomes direct. Right, so when we talk about retrogression, a major planet like Jupiter or Saturn for that matter, when they retrograde, there's a lot of impact on our lives of the retrogression. And whenever Jupiter retrogrades, it tells us to look within, to reconsider the options which we have, to reconsider our decisions, to it gives us a second chance to looking at other things, to looking at other alternatives. And since Jupiter is a Gyanakarak, Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, of higher learning, we sometimes, Jupiter is divine grace also, right? So we sometimes get the godly help as well. So there is some sort of a divine blessing which comes to help us also. That is what I believe in. And what happens is that Jupiter, whenever it is retrograding, and in case you have a retrograde Jupiter in your natal chart, in your birth chart also, this retrogression really makes a big impact on you, right? Because the impact, it increases manifold. In case you do not have a retrograde Jupiter in your chart, it may not be necessary that you feel this impact very, you feel the 100% impact of this retrogression. But nevertheless, it is a great time for you to check around yourself, to make a check on the things which you're doing. Right, so all the karakas of Jupiter, whether it is wealth, whether it is knowledge, learning, Jupiter signifies your gurus, your child, your progeny, and various other things. All these things, all the significations get affected during this retrogression, and then it further depends on wherever where all the signs of Jupiter are falling in your chart. So where is Sagittarius in your chart? Where is Pisces in your chart? And since Jupiter is going to retrograde back into the sign of Scorpio, where does Scorpio fall in your chart? So we have to keep these things in mind and then see how it affects us. Right? And Jupiter is currently in the nakshatra of Mula. And when it retrogrades back into the sign of Scorpio, it comes into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha. Now Jyeshtha energy is intense. The way Mula energy is also very, very intense, right? But the stay in Mula right now is very short. So I would rather talk about the impact Jupiter would have when it goes back to Jyeshtha. Now Jyeshtha is a nakshatra ruled by Mercury, and it falls in the it is the last nakshatra in the sign of Scorpio. So what happens? Jupiter energy coming into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha helps us to reconsider, or rather go back again deeply, intensely into whatever we were doing, whatever areas are affected right now in our lives. Right, so what we'll do is, without further going into further detail into this, I would like to talk about the impact on all the 12 signs. So starting with Aries. For Aries, Jupiter retrogression is going to happen from your 9th house back into your 8th house, and your 9th house is ruled by Jupiter, that is Sagittarius. Your 12th house is also ruled by Jupiter, that is Pisces. So it could be a time where you could come back, you could reconsider some options regarding higher education. right? So this could be a time where maybe you want to look back and see whether this is what you really want, this is what you really want to study, whether you want to travel abroad or not, because ninth house talks about traveling, right? So there could be decisions regarding long distance travel, regarding higher learning, which come into play. This could also be a transformational time, there could be some transformation regarding the ninth house matters and the 12th house matters. So when I talk about ninth house matters, learning, your relationship with your guru, your long distance travels, all these things might require your attention. And the 12th house matters, higher spirituality, again place away from home, how you make your expenditures, what are the losses. So you might be making a check on how are you expending your resources, what kind of losses have you seen in the near past. So you might like to reconsider whatever is happening around these areas, right? Now if we see the sign of Taurus, for Taurus, this transition, or rather this impact, is between your 8th house and your 7th house, right? And Pisces of course falls in your 12th house. So this could be a time where your relationship with your in-laws, your relationship with your spouse could be affected. Also the relationship with your elder sibling if you have one, or your conduct, or your overall interaction with your social circle. So this may be a time where you come in contact with someone very mature, with someone very wise in your social circle also, and you might gain from it. You might get a business partner out of your social contacts. Your relationship with your in-laws, your husband's family, your wife's family could also be relooked at, right? So there could be amount of power struggle also over here, because we have this transition happening in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, and Jyeshtha talks about getting power. I want power. That is what Jyeshtha talks about. I want to rise above everyone else. I want to gain materially. So this could be a time where all this power struggle happens between you, your spouse's family, and you need to reconsider or relook as to how you want to go about it. What kind of gains are you looking at in near future, and what do you need to do to keep your gains in place? Now talking about Gemini. If you have Gemini rising, how does it affect you? Jupiter rules your 7th house and your 10th house, right? And it goes back, retrogrades into your 6th house. So there could be something happening on the professional front, on the business front. Some obstacles. 6th house is a Trikbhava. So some obstacles or some enmity, some struggle. 6th house is a house of struggle. It's a Upchaya house, but it shows growth, it shows growth, but after struggle. So after you overcome the struggles. So these kind of things could start playing up. Your profession could give you a tough time. Your, with your spouse also, this could be a little tough period. Only with your spouse or your business partner also. So in case there are certain legal contracts with your business partner which have to be redone, you might take this opportunity to relook. And on the professional front, again, as I said, struggles, but gain from struggles also. So this is a time to hold your horses and move forward despite of all the obstacles coming in front of you. Then comes Cancer. For Cancer, this retrogression is happening from your, it's Sagittarius falls in your 6th house and Scorpio comes in your 5th house. So Jupiter is retrograding from your 6th house back towards your 5th house. And then of course Pisces, the other sign of Jupiter, falls in your 9th house. This could be a time where children are the highlight. So you do things for your children, you reconsider what is to be done. There might also be a chance that those of you who are looking at having children get lucky here. There could be a good medical treatment in case you were getting treated medically for conception. So you could be going towards a new medical treatment, approaching a new doctor. A new line of treatment could work for you. Also this is a time where if you're in a relationship, if you're in a love relationship with with your partner, and if there's some tiff going on, there are some problems going on in your relationship, those problems get resolved, or you take a call whether you really want to go ahead or not, right? So and other things, like your entertainment issues, entertainment matters come to the foray. So you look at your creative arts. If you were struggling with something, if you're struggling to express your creativity, if you're in one of those fields, you are in one of those professions where creativity matters, you have to be creative all the time. And if you were hitting a roadblock right now, maybe this is the time where you're able to relook at all that, where you're able to work on your creativity again, expressing yourself, right? Now if we talk about the sign of Leo. For Leo, Jupiter rules the 5th house and the 8th house, and it is retrograding back into the 4th house. So some property matter, children matters, certain obstacles, or maybe you have to relook at decisions regarding your property. There might be some issues relating to your inheritance which are pending, which you might have to work on again, right? And if you're into occult studies, so occult studies again, or you get connected somewhere with the occult studies, with unknown things, with research matters. All the 8th house significations also come up. And then or maybe when it comes to your home, when it comes to your domestic matters, you relook at what is to be done. So maybe if you are at the verge of buying a property, if you are at the verge of buying some land or a new vehicle or something, this is a time when you reconsider. Maybe you just take a different call altogether. Maybe you decide that okay, you are going for a property in X place. Now you change your decision and you say okay, I'm not good with this, I want to go ahead with a different place, with a different locality, right? So such things could come into the forefront. Then talking about Virgo. For Virgo, this transition is going to affect your 4th house and your 7th house, wherever Sagittarius and Pisces are there. So your domestic matters again, you relook at that, you relook at your domestic matters, you relook at your business contracts. So with your business contracts, you might be looking at short-term travels. So your business could keep you on your toes, because again your 3rd house, where Jupiter is retrograding back into the sign of Scorpio, that is also getting activated, right? Activated again. So your business contracts keep you there, your siblings keep you on your toes. You might be driven by your subconscious thoughts, so it's a good time to get in touch with your subconscious, to get in touch with your deeper self, So look at ways and means of talking to yourself, because 3rd house rules over your unconscious mind, subconscious mind. So how are you talking to yourself? What is there inside your head? This is a time period where you can actually see, understand yourself, introspect, and which I feel is very, very important, because if you introspect, if you keep a check on what you're doing regularly, you're able to take better decisions in future. You're able to you do not commit the same mistakes again, right? Now the sign of Libra. For Libra, Jupiter rules your 3rd house and your 6th house, and it's retrograding back into the 2nd house. So this is a time where you might have to bite your own tongue. So you might regret what you are saying, what you have said. So be very careful while communicating. Be very careful while, if you're in the field of mass communication, or if you're in an appointment, or in a position where what you communicate matters a lot, affects a lot of people, you have to be doubly careful, because this could bring in obstacles for you. This time period could also bring in a change or short-term travels for you. Yeah. And if you have any underlying health issues, I suggest this is a time when you actually get yourself checked up, right? So for Scorpio, this retrogression is happening in your 1st house, in your ascendant, right? So your 2nd house and your 5th house, sign of Sagittarius and Pisces, they get affected. These matters come into the limelight. So your wealth issues, how are you accumulating your wealth? What is the status of your savings? Do you need to save more? What do you need to do to enhance your bank balance? How are you expressing yourself within your family? How are you communicating with your family members? How are you communicating with your children? What are you doing? How are you handling your children? Or children could take away a lot of your time. Children could take away a lot of your attention. Also, this is a time to relook at your creative interests. So these things could take away your bandwidth during this time frame. And since the retrogression is happening majorly in your ascendant, towards the tail end of Scorpio, this impact will be felt more by people who have Scorpio rising. Then comes Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, Jupiter rules your 1st and 4th house, and it retrogrades back into the 12th house. So you yourself, as in, how are you looking at, how do you look, your appearance, your health, your looks, all these things are the matters, are the things which you really need to focus on. Your peace of mind, your domestic happiness. So what is it that is taking away your domestic happiness? What is it that is taking away your peace of mind? Is your health all right? Are you at the right, on the right course of treatment? So all these things again take away your time, take away your attention. Maybe you need to relook at the kind of treatment which you're getting. 12th house signifies hospitals also. So maybe a new line of treatment, maybe some natural treatment also could work out for you. So this is a time period to focus on yourself, right? Look inwards, because the ascendant lord retrograding, and that too in the 12th house, I think I would say that it's a great opportunity to look within, to look at yourself, to keep the limelight on yourself, on your health, on your issues totally. Now if we talk about the sign of Capricorn. For Capricorn, the signs of Sagittarius and Pisces fall in your 12th and your 3rd house, and Jupiter retrogrades back into your 11th house of Scorpio. So this is a time where you can relook at your friend circle. You can relook at what kind of gains are you getting. This might require you to run around a little more, because your 3rd house is also getting activated. Your 3rd house matters also will require relooking. So your travels could increase, short distance travels. Some sort of you might come across new ideas, new thoughts on how to do things, new initiatives. Some new responsibility could also come on you. Then your 12th house, where Sagittarius falls. So this again is a time for introspection, looking at yourself, looking at your expenditures. And of course, I mean, every house has hundreds of significations. So this is a time where you can look at, where you can kind of see what kind of expenditure you're doing, whether it is taking away from you, whether it is really necessary or not. And of course, your social circle, you come back into your social circle. You're retrograding, Jupiter is retrograding over there. So 11th house matters again come into the foray, right? Then comes the sign of Aquarius. So for Aquarius, your 2nd house and your 11th house matters. Jupiter rules over your house of gains and your house of wealth, house of money, house of accumulation. So this could happen that maybe in your profession, because your Karma Sthan, the 10th house is where the retrogression is happening. So there could be new ways. I would say that this is a great opportunity for you to look at new ways of bringing in more wealth, bringing in more income. So materialistically, this could be a good opportunity, I would say, because your 2nd house and your 11th house matters again get rekindled. So maybe the way you work around things, the way you make changes maybe at your workplace, in your profession, could actually affect your gains, your income. This could also be a time where your status also, it could affect your status. It could affect your name and fame also. And since it's making a connection with the 11th house, it could be a positive change. Then comes the sign of Pisces, the last sign. So for Pisces, your 1st house and your 10th house matters are getting affected, right? And Scorpio falls in your 5th house, in your 9th house, sorry. So maybe some amount of luck helps you here in your profession, in your workplace, in your work field. So some kind of help comes to you, and your ascendant lord is retrograding, remember. So some kind of divine blessings help you out. Maybe this is a great time to take up any kind of a pilgrimage, or if not a pilgrimage, at least a visit to your guru or a guru like figure. Sought some advice, sought some guidance, right? Seek some advice, seek some guidance. So this is a time where I think some divine blessing helps you out regarding you yourself, regarding your health, regarding your father's health. This could be a good change for your father also, and your work field, right? So that's it about the effect of Jupiter retrogression on all the 12 signs. And let's see, because this is a testing period, and this is a time where one can actually relook at a lot of things. Though the transition in the beginning is a little confusing, it's a little I would say turbulent, because over the Gandanta zone, coming out of the sign of Sagittarius and then into the sign of Scorpio, crossing over the Gandanta zone and being stationary, all these effects would also be felt. But luckily all these, this period is just for a few days, and thereafter the retrogression continues, right? So I'll see you again in my next video. Till then, bye bye, God bless.